should be like you, Mel.
Ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Good morning, guten morgen, good morning, bonjour, hello to wherever you are in the world. Sorry, I tried to do it a little bit differently there, Ollie. Kind of failed, didn't it? Kind of hit the rocks and went off on the spin. We are back for some more Cherry AM. And how are you doing this morning, Ollie?
Not bad, yeah, not bad. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm a little bit under the weather, but yeah, I'm okay and happy to be here, mate.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. And I've got an absolute banging headache, to be honest. Don't know why. It's just come on last night. So yeah, it's yeah, it was yeah. I haven't a clue.
Long day at work, mate. Let's draw it down to a long day at work.
Yes, we'll put it down to that. Partly my fault. But here we go. Darren Hurst has said morning, afternoon, evening, or have a meeting, so I'll miss the first 30 minutes or so. So we'll watch in detail later. Damn work. Hope you're doing well, Darren, and not to worry, not to worry. Dan has said morning to Ollie, and
morning,
we got Paul from Oz. Morning all. Good morning, Paul. Hope you're doing well, mate. Liam Humby. Good morning to everybody up the cherries. Good morning, Liam. Hope you are doing well. Paul Sant said good morning and has also become a new YouTube member. Thank you so much, Paul.
Nice.
Really do appreciate the support that everybody gives us here up the cherries in all departments, and yeah, really appreciate that as well. Chris said good morning to Ollie. Did you go on your own? Nobody's saying morning to me. Hello everyone.
Everyone thought you were still on a 2-match ban, didn't they?
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they? 2-match ban, VAR, having to watch from the sidelines, red cards. I was a little bit late today, but I think it was only a yellow card this time. Lee Sibley has said morning, all morning, Lee.
Morning, Lee.
Interesting. Sad to see the back of the Bic was set alight. I've not seen anything about that actually.
Neither have I. And I'll be honest, it's a bit doom and gloom for a Tuesday morning. The sun's shining in my window. I'd like to keep it that way this morning. Is the weather all right on your side this morning?
It's all right, actually. It's one of those nice where it's not too hot, it's not too cold. It's just about right. It's like that nice, feels like going into autumn weather. And I quite like that, actually. I like that. It doesn't say, I've just had a little look at the BBC, and it doesn't actually say that anybody did it. It doesn't look like it was an Arsenal or anything, but yeah, not good at all. And it was 7:30 p.m., which you'd think yeah, it could well be. Could well be anything, to be honest. Electrical.
Could be
Probably
anything, mate.
not to speculate at this moment in time. I'm sure it will
No.
all come out. Morning to Chris. Hope you're doing well. He said, "Morning, Craig and Ollie." Cheers, Dan. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Paul said, "Hope you feel better soon, Ollie.
Cheers, Paul.
Summer colds are the worst. There's so much of it going around, isn't there?"
Yeah, it seems it. But luckily for me, I don't tend to see much of it. I don't tend to get much of it. I'm in North Wales, so we don't have too much interaction with, large groups of people. So I shouldn't. Yeah,
quite a few sheep, but
they
don't really carry any bugs. They don't.
No, exactly. Must have been all the exploring at the weekend.
To be honest, mate, it sounds idyllic. Wales, North Wales, especially just in the valleys. Filling out. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Badger.
Good morning, mate. Hope you're doing well. Sean said, "Hi, I don't want to get out of bed, but have to." Yeah, fair enough, Sean. Hope everything goes well later on. And he said, "My wife likes these temperatures, but I want at least 28 degrees."
Oh, no, I'm happy with the cooler weather, Sean.
Yeah, same here. Bit cooler, yeah, I'm quite happy with that myself. Dan Short said it's on the Echo website about the BIC as well. It certainly is. Yeah, I've just had a little look. And we do have a special interview that is coming tonight. If you're not sure who it is, do go check the Facebook group straight after this show. But yeah, we've got a special show that is interview that is come up later on. But let's talk about a Brazilian goalkeeper who is linked with a move away. Now, this is courtesy of The Athletic. And Brazilian goalkeeper, there's only one, which is Neto. And it appears, according to The Athletic, Botafogo have reached an agreement to sign Bournemouth goalkeeper Neto. I'm just going to read through what David Ornstein's written here. So it says, Botafogo have reached an agreement with Bournemouth to sign Neto. The 36-year-old Brazilian goalkeeper is scheduled to fly out to Rio de Janeiro on Monday night and undergo a medical before completing the proposed move. It will not involve a transfer fee, but as one of Bournemouth's highest earners in the Premier League club will make significant salary savings. Neto's contract was due to end next June, and he is set to join Botafogo on a deal until the summer of 2027, with an option to extend by 6 months. Botafogo are 7th in the Brazilian top flight. The former Fiorentina and Valencia goalkeeper joined Bournemouth from Barcelona in the summer of 2022. He departs the club having kept 13 clean sheets in 63 appearances. Hold that thought and hold those figures. During the 23-24 season, Neto made 32 league appearances, making 27 appearances the season prior. The one-time Brazil international spent the 24-25 campaign on loan at Arsenal, where he made just one appearance. In July, Bournemouth completed the signing of goalkeeper Jordi Petrovic from Chelsea. The 25-year-old signed a 5-year deal. So that is with regards to Neto leaving. I know that The Athletic is a paid service as well. So therefore, I wanted to just read out what has been written there. Ollie, initial thoughts. What do you reckon?
Yeah, so it's not the only source. There's a couple of other sources that are stating advanced talks are underway with Botafogo. He has flown out there, so it looks like it's going to be underway, and it is something that we were trying to get off of our profit and loss page, right? So it was £5 million a year his wages, and yes, he's gone on a free transfer, but that's freed up a substantial amount of cash in regards to how our season could look and our players' wages. So in the long run, all it does is kind of fall in line with everything that we're trying to do, trying to be much more financially sustainable and efficient moving forward under Iriola's guide, as well as plough a load of money into the academy and into the younger teams. And all this has done is allow that to start happening. And now we're going to have to back into our other three keepers, right? Jordy Petrovic, Will Dennis, or Paulson. So they're going to be our three keepers, and I'm fairly confident with that.
It makes perfect sense for me. As a AFC Bournemouth fan, this is a move that we all wanted to really see happen for the player, for the club. This makes perfect sense. And of course, because we've been out at the summer series, that actually means that there's going to be less of a journey for Neto to actually make to go back to Rio de Janeiro. And negotiate his salary with Botafogo. I'm guessing he's going to have to take a dip, in all honesty, from his salary at AFC Bournemouth, which is one of the highest at the club at the moment still. And that's concerning for a goalkeeper at an advanced age, 36 years old. I think goalkeepers do, play until a lot later in their careers, but there has been moments and, where he's done some strange things, and I just don't think that, he fits into the plans at all. So this is a great move. Of course, he was very, very successful in the Brazilian league beforehand. He started his career at Atletico Paranaense. So yes, who were relegated from the top division last season. So I think this makes perfect sense for me. He probably wants to go back to Brazil at some point, and fair play to him. But let's deep dive into Neto. Before we do that, let's just go through a couple of these comments. I'm not on Facebook, says Dan Short. Okay, no problem. It's Dene Monday who is on the show, and you will be able to watch that interview on the channel. I think it's going to be going out about 7 o'clock. I was meant to finish editing it yesterday. Unfortunately, I didn't because the banging headache that I had. Does that mean Paulson or Dennis second choice?
Yes,
We'll
it does
discuss
indeed.
that as well. Which one goes to second choice just behind Jordy Petrovic? And that would be good for us, to be honest. Yeah, I think so. Sean's already had his say on Dennis or Paulson. If Neto goes, I want Alex to be second choice. Given the summer series looks like Dennis to be second choice, would you be happy with that? I think personally Paulson is going to be the future. I think Will Dennis maybe needs a bit of a loan move. Do we really need 3 goalkeepers on the books at any one time? I think, let one of them go out on loan, but with that recall clause in there. If we can get the recall clause in there, then that makes sense. Okay, it didn't make us very popular when we recalled Mark Travers from Stoke, but hey, he's our goalkeeper. We pay the majority of his salary. It is really up to us as a football club. Dan Short, if and when he goes, who would be second choice? We'll discuss that in just a second. But like I say, Sean has had his say. He'd like Alex. According to the internet reports, Neto was on 50,000 quid a week. Way too much for a goalkeeper as backup. I would give his wages to Zab and try and keep him, but it won't. I think Zab wants to go, and I have to give Neto some credit. He was good under O'Neill when he came in after 9-0 against Liverpool. Yeah, 100%. I tell you what, let's cap on that actually, because that's quite a good point. Mark Travers, conceded 9 up in Liverpool. I was there that game. It was horrible, in all honesty. I was sat with a Liverpool fan we all know very, very well, who, was grinning from ear to ear on the way home. I spoke to Robbie Savage and Chris Sutton. I said Scott Parker had to go. But one of the moves that I wouldn't have made was dropping Mark Travers and, giving Neto the chance there and then. The main reason being is Mark Travers served us so well in the Championship, and it wasn't really his fault. It wasn't really his fault. His defence in front of him was playing too deep. Again, down to the manager.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd absolutely agree. And Mark Travers proved himself in a number of other games after that season. There was a couple of games. Well, we've discussed them before, actually. I think,
Yes,
especially last season.
Oh, God, yeah.
Crikey, he really pulled some saves out of the bag. So you can tell that he was a good keeper. He had some really good streaks in him.
I think Neto was a better goalkeeper, though, under Gary O'Neill, like Paul says there. And, I guess he did steady the ship. Those changes steadied the ship. I think O'Neill went through the juggler a little bit. And between that defeat against Liverpool and the defeat against Southampton, every other team in the Premier League had been beaten apart from Bournemouth. We was on a pretty decent run, really. This is what when people say, "Oh, O'Neill, the PE teacher, clown," and all these sort of things, I completely disagree with them. Mainly because Gary O'Neill, he come in and solved the situation. He did the job that was asked of him. But Neto, I think, was very, very assured. He was very calm. And, he did look like an international goalkeeper in that first season. I was confident he was going to get to the balls. He wasn't making silly, rash decisions, which came at a later point, came when Iraola come in. And it just seemed like the click between the managers. It seemed like under O'Neill, he knew his position, he knew to stay back in goal, he knew to rely on the defence, which, let's be honest, he had a better defence in front of him under Iraola than he did under Gary O'Neill. And the Wolves game, of course, Gary O'Neill was in charge of Wolves that day, was the one that really shone out to me when Neto made an absolute ridiculous pass to Philip Billing. It was just, and the pair of them just got absolutely confused and dumbfounded. And of course, we conceded. Wolves won that game, and the rest, as they say, is history. But that's my concern about Neto. Is I think that he started trying to come out. He started trying to do too much. He started, it was as if he didn't trust the defenders in front of him, even though they were better defenders under Iraola. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, and you can see that as well on the pitch. You could tell that Neto was trying to diversify the way that he was getting the ball out to the pitch because of concerns that he clearly had. You can tell that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what was actually causing more mistakes than not, is he was trying to get the ball, a lot further out than maybe he should have been. If he's playing from the back, if he was trusting his back four a lot more, then we'd have had much more possession of the ball, we'd have had much more vision of the pitch. But as you said, because he was trying to avoid that situation almost in certain circumstances, he for me, when Neto left and Kepa came in, there was a transition in, how do I put this without sounding rude, in goalkeeper skill. Kepa felt like he moulded with the team, whereas Neto felt like he was falling out of line with the team. I'm not sure if that makes sense.
It does make sense, but I've got to be honest, the spin side on that is that I wanted, when Kepa coming to the side, I was crying out for Mark Travers, because I was saying, I remember that Everton game, the Brentford game, okay, we beat Everton, in that epic circumstances, but I don't think he really helped against Brentford. Well, his positioning was completely and utterly wrong in that game. He lost us that game, Kepa did. I was crying out for Mark Travers. It's quite clear that Iriola wanted a goalkeeper that can play out from the back with the ball at his feet, and Neto can do that to a standard, but not to the standards that was really required of him. And I think maybe that was the difference between the very conservative, let's make sure you stay on your line, Gary O'Neill, to somebody who wants to play that more fluid, fast football moving forwards,
Yeah.
who's not frightened for the goalkeeper to have it back and then change the style of play, change which wing we go to, stretch the opposition. I think personally, it was that's the biggest difference between them.
Yeah, I can't disagree. And how are you feeling that they sum up now compared to Jordi Petrovic?
I think Jordi Petrovic looks the best of the three. And I would even question, and I know that I'm a big Mark Travers fan. I don't like the fact he's gone to Everton, but I actually question. I think Jordi Petrovic is going to be a better goalkeeper in all departments than Mark Travers is.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Let's just have a quick look at these comments because they have been coming fast and thorough. Very few of those massive amount of goals at Liverpool and the couple of games before was Travers' fault. Yeah, I completely agree with you, Sean. I do completely agree with you on that. Any other transfer rumours, we'll come to that in a moment, Dan. Sean says, regardless of whether or not you like Gary, he came in and did the job, but he never really looked the next level. And as we found out, when he managed Wolves, yeah, as much as I gave him lots and lots and lots of praise, he really wasn't. Malcolm Chiverton has said, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Malcolm. Hope you're doing well. And Chris Hubble has said, morning, Mal. Hope you're well. So there we are. That's where we are up to. But yeah, it's very, very, very interesting, because I honestly think Neto is a good goalkeeper. He is probably lacking that bit of confidence. He went to Arsenal, and to be fair, I'm going to touch upon a game that he played for Arsenal, and that game was against Girona. And I don't know if you remember.
That was the only game he played, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And in all honesty, he made a complete and utter hash of that opportunity for Arnaut Danjuma. Made the complete and utter hash of it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Unfortunately, for me, I think he's lacking in confidence, and maybe a move back to Brazil is the best thing for him. Is the best thing for AFC Bournemouth, the best thing for Botafogo. I'm guessing he's not going to be getting 50,000 a week over in Brazil, but it is still a good standard of league, as we've seen with Fluminense in the Club World Cup, and we've seen a lot of teams, who look good quality over there. I'm trying to think of some of the other teams, but you've got Corinthians, haven't you? You have got Santos, the classic Santos as well. Boca Juniors, that is Argentina, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Vasco da Gama. I know is a side over in Brazil, who I think, didn't they compete in the first Club World Cup or something?
I'm not sure.
It's something like that, but yeah, it's still a good standard of league as well. So, hey, I think he's probably going to make the right move for himself. But
yeah, and good luck to him. Good luck to Neto.
100%.
If that's the case and it all goes through. And in all honesty, it's fantastic for the club. It is great for the club if he goes.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, all it's doing is getting rid of legacy contracts that are costing way too much. It allows us to be much more efficient and effective moving forward. So,
Oh, definitely. Just going back to Dan's comment, because he did make a comment earlier on with regards to any other transfer rumours. Is there any other transfer rumours, Ollie?
at the moment, no. I think we've still got our eyes on Mikel Adopo.
Yes.
But I'm not sure. I don't think that's gone any further than from what I read last week. So watch this space. I'll have an update for you on Thursday morning. We'll do another big update on transfers or speculation. But for now, I'm pretty sure the only one that's in talks or possibly going somewhere is Mikel Adopo. But, I know that Tottenham, West Ham, Newcastle are all in talks as well. And after our defeat to West Ham, who knows where he'll pick?
Well, you never know. You never know. But I would absolutely love to see somebody of that status come here. Somebody who's a lot of teams are after. Do we really need him? I think we really need some defenders, to shore up at the back. Senesi hasn't, and I don't know about yourself, but I don't think he's really shone out for me, during this summer series.
No, he hasn't. I'll be honest, there's a couple of players that could have shone out more, could have performed harder, could have worked a bit better. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm alone in my thoughts there. There was some still standout players for sure. And last night, the game against West Ham, you could, the effort was there. There, but there was still, in my opinion, some positions that were lacking a bit of effort. That's probably the best way to say it.
Fair enough. Sean has just commented, I'm going to be controversial. Overall, we have a stronger team now than last season. Doubt it, but anyone agree? Do you know what? I think that this has been quite a positive window for AFC Bournemouth. I've said that a couple of times now, Sean. And the reason being is we expected to lose Dean Howson. Let's be honest, when Real Madrid come knocking, those players are normally going. When you look at, Milos Kerkez, it was rumbling on, let's be honest, the latter part of last season with regards to him going to Liverpool. Liverpool, Premier League champions, want you, you're probably going to go. I'm hoping we don't lose Barnier. I'm hoping we stand firm against PSG. But again, we're talking about the European champions there. And, again, it might be very, very difficult to keep hold of him. But overall, I think that this has been a very positive window. We've got Semenyo on a longer deal. Adrian Treffer, has come in, looks very, very, very good. I think there's a lot of promise. And Đorđe Petrovic, we've got a solid goalkeeper. Only one I didn't really want to see go was Mark Travers to Everton for 4 million. And I think that's a bit low for, the quality of goalkeeper he is. But overall, this isn't been a bad summer at all. I think it could be made even better, though, with shoring up that back line. And yeah, we are going to be that stepping stone club for a lot of players, who are going to come here with the premise that they have got in their contract that option to move on if the right transfer fee is hit, don't we, Ollie?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so, again, we're in a position of building sustainability, building for the financial sustainability at the same time as building a good club and a good starting squad. So we're gonna have turbulences up and down, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, overall a good recruitment session, good recruitment pre-season. I believe. I think we've had a solid, stable 3 months in between seasons.
With regards to Neto, most of his career has been number 2. Yeah, that's quite true, actually. Neto's career, a lot of it when he went to Barcelona, he was number 2. He was number 1 at Valencia for some time. But, at Juventus and Barcelona, he was number 2. So, yeah, I think maybe I think, when he went to Barcelona, of course, from Valencia, he's gone there with a hope of establishing himself. Think about it. It was about 10 years ago now, and he was probably thinking, well, if I can establish myself at Barcelona as number 1, what a great move that would be. But it never really happened. He played 12 times for Barcelona, and he's come to Bournemouth with that hope that he can establish himself as number 1, which he did for a while, but yeah, just couldn't keep it. So yeah, I personally think this is the right move for him as a player, and a goalkeeper, as well as us as a club. We might be stronger if we did not have so many injuries. Yeah, very true. Very, very true. But I'm sure they'll come back stronger and better than ever. Dan, the next ladies' game is Sunday against West Brom, but it's behind closed doors. It's frustrating for the ladies. Really, they do want games, where people can watch them in action. Behind closed doors games. Do you understand behind closed doors games, Ollie?
No, not at all.
No. You might as well be making revenue from them. Unless it's a game between Bournemouth and Wimborne or something like that, where we're making lots of changes, one on, one off, like where we're switching it around all the time. I can understand that, but not games, against West Brom. It just doesn't make any sense for me. But I'm sure the lady's going to be ready and raring to go at the start of the season, and hopefully another promotion on the cards. No
Fingers
pressure,
crossed,
girls.
Fingers
No
crossed.
pressure. Good morning to Daniel. Hope you're doing well, Daniel. And Sean says the next ladies' game you can watch is Sunday the 17th at 2 p.m. against Billericay. Billericay. Isn't that from Gavin and Stacey as well? Billericay.
I'm not sure. I think it is South Wales. I don't know.
I'm sure. No, Billericay's not South Wales. That's Essex. That's
Is it
Essex.
Essex? Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
Gala. Paul Sands. Pity we can have got that left back that West Ham bought. He's going to be a fantastic player. Yeah, I agree with that. And Brazilian clubs: Sao Paulo, Botafogo, Palmeiras, Bahia, Mirassol, to name some others. Do you know what? Your footballing knowledge, Malcolm, is second to none. Do you know what I did, have a look at? Because I didn't really, I don't know if you remember, a couple of years ago, there's a club called Associação Japonês de Football, and they're a side that, are very, very much untraditional in Brazil. They're not a very traditional club. And this club managed to get to the top flight of Brazilian football. And I think at one point they were leading the Serie A, which is the Brazilian top division. And it was that club. And this is one thing, it was so incredibly sad when I read about this. That was the one where there was the plane crash. And yeah, 71 people died. Almost the entire first team passed away in Colombia. So yeah, I remember that happening. And it, incredibly, incredibly sad, considering they were doing so well, and let's be fair, they were an untraditional side. But yeah, it's a very sad story. If you want to have a read about something, well, you might not want to, but something a bit depressing this morning, that is a very, very sad story. But a story of how a club can go from nowhere to somewhere, and then they of course had everything snatched away from them. So yeah,
Yeah.
incredibly sad story. But of course,
Just
the comms.
as we get closer to wrapping up, Craig, just want to do a shout out to a lad that
Yes.
reached out to me yesterday. He should be watching the show. I'm not sure if he is. George White. So shout out to George White if
Hello,
you're watching, George. He did reach out last night, and he did post on a couple of the pages on Facebook as well. So I've advised him to get involved on the show.
Good
So welcome,
stuff.
George, if you're here.
You're more than welcome to get involved, George. And chat all things cherries. We'd be delighted to have you on a show. So, yeah, get in contact with us on the email. We've got 35 people watching at this moment in time on YouTube alone, and on Instagram, we've got another 15. Nice. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. That's 50 for a morning. So yeah, if you are new here, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell button. It means the world to us. And Malcolm said, hope everyone is doing well this morning. Yes, very, very well, Malcolm. Apart from said headache is, I don't know what's brought it on. It's just, yeah, it might be contact lenses actually. Sean said, want to share a quick word on Morecambe? Oh, yes. Do you know what? We've done quite a lot of stuff on this and bad owners. And in fact, I would quite like to speak to somebody from Morecambe, but I've probably done it a little bit too late because they are going through absolute hell at the moment with their chairman, Jason Whittingham. They were going to be bought out by a consortium called Punjab Warriors, but for some reason the rug was pulled behind that consortium, and they are in a crisis state. They've been relegated to the National League. We know the National League aren't particularly as good as the EFL. Not that the EFL are very good with actually helping clubs in this sort of situation. But yeah, it's a very, very sad state of affairs. And like I said in one of the other videos, when I spoke to Rob Cohig, who is the now owner of Reading, wasn't at the time when I did the first one, no football fan should lose their football club. And the same goes for Morecambe, it goes for Sheffield Wednesday, it goes for multiple teams up and down the pyramid. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, everything will be sorted there very, very soon. And of course, a club, I remember us playing, years ago, Morecambe, of course, when we was in our struggles, we remember the games against Morecambe. So yeah, bit of a dull game from memory against Morecambe, but yeah, it was in the Great Escape season. But hey, it changed. It changed. Was that under? That was under Quinn. I'm sure that was under Jimmy. Yeah, that was under Jimmy Quinn. I'm sure. Chris Hubble said, "Oh, good. Thank you, Mel. Good to see you, Chris. And Spirit of LFC fans, big up Cherry AM. How are you? You'll never walk alone.
Spirit of LFC. Nice to see you.
Hello, mate. You all right? Hope you are doing well. Hope you're doing well. Paul Santa said, yes, thanks, Malcolm. Hope you're well. And did I miss the Bournemouth ladies game against Portsmouth? I think that was the one that was postponed, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah. It's postponed again. It's tomorrow night? I'm not sure. I think it was somewhere in the chat.
Was it? Malcolm has said he's all good in Verwood. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. And over 100 years of history lost at Morecambe. Well, it's not lost just yet, Sean, but they need to do something and fast. And if Jason Whittingham is watching the show, which he probably won't be, just sell the fucking club. And I say that for every single football fan up and down the country. I'm sure that, that football club should be sold for the benefit of the football fans. No football club. What he's doing is basically holding that club hostage. He's holding that club hostage because effectively the lands that the club's built on, he could build on that land. It's just dirty. It's dirty. There needs to be an independent regulator. There needs to be some sort of legislation that stops shithouses like Jason Whittingham being involved in football. There we are. I've said it. I've said it. Sorry about the bad language this morning, but I think
good words.
I think I think it's deserved for owners that decide to do that sort of thing to a football club in their community. George is intelligent and a knowledgeable person. I'm sure he will be. We need to get him on. We need to get him on in that case, Ollie. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Yes, make sure you do that to this video. We'll wrap up in a second. Tyson Fury should buy out Morecambe. Yes, that's a very, very, very good point. Tyson Fury, I don't know how much to say here because, of course, he's a bit bigger than me. But, he did go on about Morecambe, didn't he, at one point? And he was blabbering on. And I think he's all mouth, no action, Tyson Fury. Hopefully he won't be watching because he'll probably kick my head in. Pradyum and Singh, Bournemouth should go for Kilwa for around 35. What do you reckon?
Maybe, yeah, not the right fit for the team at the moment though, and I don't think any rushed buyings at this stage unnecessary. I think we're in a good position.
Yeah. Of course, he is at Arsenal at the moment. He is a centre back, can play left back as well.
I don't think he. I've seen him play a couple of times, and I don't know. Maybe I've got an unpopular opinion there.
Would I bring him in on loan? Maybe bring him in on loan. Maybe bring him in on loan.
Yeah,
that's an option, a low risk option. I see posts 15 hours ago that they officially got. Oh, yeah, I saw that as well. Don't listen to anything until it's on the BBC or Sky Sports, Sean, because I think personally, people are trying to get clicks, especially on that wonderful place called Twitter. They are just trying to get clicks and clickbait and trying to get bites so they make more money. And he's a Mad United fan. I'm trying to think of who we're referring to. Oh, Tyson Fury. Yeah, but he was going on about Morecambe, wasn't he? Do you know what? I know who should buy the Morecambe Football Club just to spite Tyson Fury. Conor McGregor. There you are. If he's watching, if Conor's watching,
not sure that would go down.
It would be funny though, that if he bought Morecambe. Firstly, Morecambe Football Club would be saved, which is the main thing. But secondly, it would just be funny to piss off Tyson Fury, wouldn't it? Dan Short, didn't they get kicked out of the National League? No, they're suspended at the moment. He's suspended. Tyson Fury lives around Morecambe. Yeah, he was on Sky at one point. He was blabbing on about it, but he's not come to fruition. More mouth, no action. 2 ladies' friendlies were cancelled against us due to other teams. They're scared of us. Yeah, could well be. And they've been suspended by the National League. Yeah, that's not kicked out as it stands at the moment. Morecambe face the imminent prospects of shutting down.
Yeah, imminent. So yeah, this is all speculation, guys. Yeah. All of this is speculation. Yeah.
And Dan said, Arsenal fan here, Kilwa is very, very good. Are Arsenal fans trying to offload Kilwa? I'm thinking here, maybe they are. What do you reckon?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'd have to see more of him play. I'd have to see more of him play before making a concise decision.
Well, there we are. That is everything up to date for Cherry AM. Ollie, you'll be here with Sean tomorrow, won't you?
Indeed.
Cherry AM. Yes, I've got my suspension coming up of 2 or 3 games. So I will not be here for the rest of the week, but you are in the safe and capable hands of Matt, Ollie, and Paul from Oz as well. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell button so you're reminded of everything. Go check out the interview with Denny Monday later on today as well. pleasure as always, and thank you for signing up as a member as well. And yeah, see you in the morning, says Sean. And thanks, guys, says Malcolm.
Good guys.
So yes, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell button. We shall see you tomorrow. I'm off now to go and practice my punches just to get ready, just in case Tyson Fury wants about. I think I might beat him. What do you reckon, Ollie? What's my odds?
I'm not backing you, unfortunately.
Should I just get on a plane and emigrate somewhere? just get as far away as possible. Yes,
that'd be nice. Good excuse for a holiday.
I'm sorry, Tyson. Sorry. Very sorry. Very sorry. You'll get it if you watch the In-Betweeners. See you tomorrow morning, guys.
TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Mel.